Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? This is our Tuesday morning check-in time. I'm glad you're with us. If you like to check in, you're welcome to put your name and a comment into the comment section, and we can see who's here and catch up with folks. So it's been 2 weeks, and I'm wondering how everyone's doing. I hope everyone is managing as well as they can in this strange and difficult time. I'm just going to start off with a few announcements because that's how we start everything at church, right? Okay, so we have so far 3 times where something will be happening here on Facebook Live. Okay, so Tuesday 11, which is what we're doing now, and that's going to be more of a casual check-in time, and I might share a few readings today. I'm just going to share a bit of a reflection of mine. And then, so Tuesday 11, Thursday 7 p.m. is evening prayer, and that will be happening this week. And of course, the following week for Thursday prayer, it will be Maundy Thursday. So I'll see if I can come up with something interesting for that. And then Sunday 10 a.m. we'll continue here on Facebook Live for the next little while. I think we need to just get to be a bit more accustomed to this forum before we try to move over to a new one. So this Sunday, and then of course Easter Sunday, I'll be here at 10. We'll try to finish up by 10:30 so that folks who want to head over to the Trinity Live site will be able to do that and take in both experiences. Another announcement, we have a board meeting on Thursday, April 7th via Zoom at 7 p.m. So board members will have received their notification of that. And I think that's about it for now, announcement-wise. I've got a couple of birthday celebrations. At least I know one for sure. Today is Heather's birthday. I know that. And I'm just kind of remembering that it's also Nancy's birthday. If I'm wrong about that, Nancy, sorry. And you get an extra special birthday celebration today. So, and if you've had a birthday over the last couple of weeks, happy birthday to you. What a strange time to have a birthday. And I know that we can celebrate all those birthdays together when we're together again at Westminster. And my other celebration is that I think all of our snowbirds are back home in Canada. And I'm really happy about that. I was checking in along the way as they made their way home, and I'm just really glad everybody's back. If you have any celebrations, put them in the chat by all means. That would be great. I'd love to hear from you. So I was going to share a reading with you this morning, and I had one chosen, but then yesterday I went on a really wonderful walk, keeping distance from everybody, of course, but it was such a beautiful day, so I went for a nice long walk, and I happened to be listening to a new podcast. I like podcasts, but I'd never heard this one. It's called Unlocking Us, and it's by Brené Brown. Now, you might remember Brené Brown from her TED Talk on vulnerability and shame, and her book, Daring Greatly. Well, this new podcast of hers was all set to start a couple of weeks ago, and then all of this happened. So she switched it up, and her first episode, it's about something she calls frightening first times. So if you're going to listen to it, I'll warn you, I've changed the word frightening from another word that she used. You know what I mean. But anyhow, the whole episode just really resonated with me. And she talks about firsts and how they can be kind of intimidating in a lot of ways. You might remember that time you were the new kid at school, or your first day of high school, or the first day of a new job, or that first time you ever actually drove a car, when you actually put it into gear and the car moved underneath you. All those kind of firsts can be really intimidating. And so what she's talking about is that bit of anxiety that comes with doing something for the first time. So she says there are 3 important steps to facing frightening first times. And the first is to name it, identify it, and say that, yes, this is the first time this situation has ever happened to me, and I have no expertise here. All of us in this pandemic time are in it for the first time. There's no guidebook. There's no rules except the one, well, you know the rules. Wash your hands, stay inside. But it's normal in that context to feel a bit vulnerable and a bit uncertain. So step 1, name it. Step 2, put it in perspective. You will not necessarily be good at this, especially at the beginning. No one starts anything as an expert. For those of you who are knitters, the first time you picked up a pair of knitting needles and some yarn, you didn't know how to do cable stitches, right? There are things we have to learn by doing, and this is one of those things. So name it, put it in that perspective. And the third thing is what really stayed with me, it's to normalize it. You've probably heard people say that self-isolation and Zoom meetings and social distancing is our new normal. We use that term a lot these days, new normal. And that's very true. But the way to normalize what we're in is to find a purpose in it. In other words, this is the way things are. How am I going to make the best of it? How am I going to do something good and purposeful with my days? So all of that is to say that we're all just making our way through this in the best way we can. Change is difficult. The unknown is unsettling. And I suspect in many ways change is especially difficult for the church, for Big C church, the global church, where traditions run so deep across so many generations. We are continuing to be church in the best way we know how. And I think as we're adjusting to connecting in this new way, on this new forum, we'll continue to do that here, as I've said. Now, eventually we might get a bit more creative. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing friends on their pages talking about Palm Sunday this week and how they're going to manage to have a parade. And it all sounds very difficult. You know that video that Kim posted with the choir, which it was so amazing, that of the choir, was it? Yeah, Kim posted that one, of the choir singing and all the different boxes and all the different faces and everybody joining in at different times. It looks really nice. It's not easy to do. I'm not there yet. I'm not even going to try. So we are going to do the best we can to have a good Palm Passion prayer and reflection time. I will do everything I can to make it meaningful, but it's not going to have anything fancy. It's not going to have all your faces in little boxes. I'm sorry. I'm just not. There's learning curves and then there's, right, I can't do that. Not yet. And then Easter. Easter we will make as joyous and as wonderful as we possibly can from where we are. And when we come back together, when this is done, our first service back in the sanctuary will be our Easter service, the way we always enjoy it. This is not how we usually do church, but here we are. I will learn more as we go along, but for now, this is enough. I'm glad you're there. I'm glad you're safe and healthy. I hope you're safe and healthy. And hopefully after a few weeks, looking at my face on the screen won't feel so strange. the important thing is that in this together, this thing we've never done before, that all of us have a purpose. And as a church, the purpose we always carry with us, no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, whether we're in that building on Madeline Street or River Street, or whether we're here in our homes, we have a purpose, and that purpose is to support one another in prayer and to check in with one another as people of faith on a shared journey down this new unknown path. Do you remember on Epiphany Sunday, so the first Sunday in January, and we had our star words. There were, little wooden blocks in the shape of a star, and they each had a word on them, and we picked them out of the bowl. My word was daring, and I had no idea what that word was going to mean in 2020. When I picked it out of the bowl, I thought, that's a weird word. Why is that word so weird to me? Daring. How long's it been since I've had to be truly daring? Well, little did I know. This that we're doing here is daring for me. It means I'm doing ministry in a way I wasn't trained for, in a way I've never had to do it before. It means everything about my vocation has just shifted dramatically. So I'm trying to name that.